Well, welcome to Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross, where we provide resources, education, connection, and collaboration to support you on your life's journey. And today is a journey of self-discovery and transformation with our guest speakers, Dawn Livingstone and Julie Scott. Dawn is a seasoned Ascension coach and energy healer specializing in breaking the cycle of fear, addiction, and trauma to empower individuals toward inner growth and authentic living. And Julie is a certified hypnotherapist and immersive meditation coach, offering a unique approach to effortless change by connecting with the inner self and reprogramming the subconscious mind. Together, Dawn and Julie will tell us about the unique events that they have created called Quantum Awakening. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, can you tell us about Quantum Awakening and how that came about?
Yes. Con, how did it come about? Wow. It was probably a good 3 months ago now, Julie.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I host my own TV show, the Transcend and Succeed show, on this channel. And Julie applied to be a guest on my show. So we had the usual, quick chat to see if we were going to be a really good fit. And we just gelled so super well, didn't we? We got on so well.
Yep.
We found that we had a lot of things in common and we were very, very like-minded on many, many different things. So we organised the show and Julie came along and all the way through this show, I was tingling from head to foot. It just was such a wonderful feeling. And all the questions I was asking her, she would answer in the way I was going to answer that same question. So it really was very, very strange at the time. I've never had that happen before. So we had a great show. And during the show, Julie had mentioned something that I had been well aware of. I just hadn't remembered about it, for quite some time. And it was a statement by Greg Braden. He's a renowned scientist, and he had suggested that the square root of 1% of a population, if they all come together, is significant enough to effect a change of that population. And that just stuck in my head for the whole show. So Julie and I, we finished the show and then we must have chatted for a good, 30, 40 minutes, something like that. And we decided that it would be nice at some point in the future, if anything came up, that we would possibly work together. And I thought that was a great idea. And it was that night, I was sitting watching the TV with my husband and I was like, I've just had an epiphany. And he said, what kind of epiphany? I said, I have just I thought of an idea that Julie and I could do together to help humanity. And he's like, oh, okay, what is it? So I explained it to him and he says, that's a really great idea. He said, it's keep the cost really, really low. You'll get loads of people. He said. So that night I had messaged Julie and said, I've had an idea. I'm going to go and sleep on it and think some more about it and I'll message you in the morning. So in the morning I said, why don't we just stop talking about it and start doing something about it? Why don't we create something that can help us, not just help people as individuals, but help humanity collectively? And I shared that, I'd had this vision of, monthly events 1 or 2 times a month, but the new moon and the full moon were very prevalent in my mind at the time. So she loved it and we talked a little bit more about it and now we have Quantum Awakening.
Don't you love how that happens? Because I remember kind of a similar conversation with Dawn with about, hey, I don't know why I didn't think of this. I have an idea to run by you. Do you ever think about having a TV show? And whoop, here we are, the Voyage to Vitality channel. So
there you go.
I can see how that goes. But yeah, so your Quantum Awakening, because you guys have a lot of similar, backgrounds or that kind of play well with each other. What is your mission? And so what do you hope to achieve working together with this?
Well, I know that both her and Dawn and I, again, we share a lot of the same hopes and dreams for our clients, but and just for me, it's like I wanted to I always want to feel like I'm making a difference in my little corner of the world, or my little corner of Facebook, or my little corner of Instagram, or whatever. But it really is such a nice idea to think about making a difference on a global level. I mean, I know that that's something I've been thinking about for many years, and obviously Dawn's been thinking about it as well, which is why we did come together to do this. But our mission is really to help people heal themselves, because as we heal on the individual basis, all the lives of everyone that we touch around us is affected by our energy, right? And
Mhm.
so the more lives that we can touch, the more that we can affect a real change in the world. I mean, and it's not about the economy or politics or any of that stuff. It's
Mhm.
like this is change at the source, at the individual, right? Because we recognize that everything starts and ends with us, right? And so our mission is really to heal the world through this process of taking people within, helping them meet their inner self, allowing themselves to heal themselves through energy healing that Dawn facilitates me. And it's just a wonderful experience for anyone who wants to check us out, because it's you're going to walk away with just this relaxed, calm, peaceful feeling. And I'm just thinking, who is that hurting?
Yeah, not at all. And I think it
Nobody
was
is.
more about, the power of synergy, because you
Yes.
have a very powerful practice, and I know that the energy healing that I do has a really good effect. So it's having that synergistic effect, that
Yes.
1 + 1 equals the output of three,
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a very powerful thing that we've created, and we're just delighted to have gotten started with it.
Yes. It's been fun.
Eh, I
Uh-huh.
love that. I love that too. That's why we call this "Heal Yourself and Heal the World" with
Yeah.
quantum awakening, because it starts with us.
Yes.
Yes.
And like you said, I believe we can do more together, than
Hmm.
individually. And these platforms have given us the ability to meet with people from all over the world.
I know. I love
And
that.
Yeah.
so it's amazing how you can. I love that way Dawn explains it. How she just kind of had this whole tingling effect, because there are some people that wow, you start talking to them, you may have met them for the first time, but you feel like you've known them for a whole lot
A long
longer.
time. Well, that's how we
Yes.
felt, isn't it, Julie? It felt like,
Absolutely. A
have you
sister
ever,
from another mister.
are we soul sisters? Yeah.
Yep,
Hmm.
absolutely. That is beautiful. So, what are your goals for the Quantum Awakening events?
Oh, we have a lovely goal of 9,000 attendees. And I'll tell you why. The square root of 1% of the population that we aim to help is 9,000 people. And that is based on 8 billion people, approximately 8 billion people on the planet.
Mhm.
So we're looking to build this community, this healing space to 9,000 people, to really facilitate that healing, and that we would call it a ripple effect, and I called it a tsunami. We want a tsunami of healing energy across the globe, and interconnectedness with
Mm.
people, so that we all have love and kindness and forgiveness, and all these really high good vibrations. You can get rid of all this rubbish that we're seeing in the world at the minute. I
Right?
mean, isn't it? There's so much division and
Fear.
hatred and fear, and it really is. It's horrible. And that was one thing that we both had in common. Wouldn't you like to see a change in the world? Yes, we absolutely would. Well, let's help people to change it from within themselves. Because if you want to see a change in the world, you start with yourself, right?
Yeah. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I just to add to that, I mean, we all know, or at least the way I look at things, it's like I look at the world like it's this beautiful place, and there are so many more people waking up, and that it's getting better. I've met and connected with more and more people who are awake and aware that they are the source of everything in their life. And the more people that we can wake up like that, I mean, that is the answer to all of our problems. I mean, because the thing is moving people into love and acceptance of themselves. If you love and accept yourself, you never would ever hurt or harm anyone else.
Not a soul, yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like that's the answer. I mean, I know for years you've heard songs, love is all you need, right? Love is all. It's like, it's true. I mean, it really is true. And really, love is all there is. that's another plane to talk on. But I mean, it's really powerful what we're doing here. And I feel so, I don't know. I feel like it's already happened. I mean, I've been having dreams of like, Dawn saying, we've got 10,000 people signed up. I'm like, oh,
Awesome.
I was like, oh,
Keep those dreams going.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
no, and that's good to have because I mean it's powerful, it's positive, it's impactful, and I love it. That's one of the reasons why I love these platforms, and stuff that we have that we can create this because yeah, like John would say, there's a lot of rubbish out there, which is why I don't turn on the news. I don't try. I told people I'm like, can't control it, let it go. What we can
Oh, yeah.
control is us and how we perceive things. And when we're our better selves, I believe we can help others, better too. But it
Yeah.
starts with you.
Absolutely. And I am coming to your point about watching the news. I always say to people and my clients alike, it's like, focus on what you want. It's like the news is never good. So why would you put your attention, your most valuable resource, into watching something that isn't what you want?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like if we just divest our interest and attention away from it, the news would actually dissolve and die because no one would be watching it.
It's true.
That's,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like we
Oh,
don't
oh, it is true.
recognize how powerful we are. It's like if we stop watching it, it won't be. I mean,
It will not
Exactly.
exist.
They lose their ratings, they lose their popularity, they would be forced to change.
exactly. They would have, I mean, I'm all for a good news network. I mean, there is one out there, a good news network, and I subscribe to it.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of positive and a lot of good things that happen in the world, but you don't normally often see that on TV, which I think is sad.
It is.
But yeah. So tell us about what you're doing during these events.
Well, we decided we're not structuring it in certain ways. We have certain things that we want to accomplish. We want to share the education with the viewers, things that we have learned that have put us on this path, our healing path, right? We have lots of different, hard hitting quotes, things that are really impactful and have stuck with us. So we like to share those. We also like to share, and Julie and I, when we first talked about this, we have been reading all the same books.
Mhm.
The majority of them are all the same books. And we were talking about all the things within these books that really encouraged us, that motivated us, that inspired us to, keep going with the healing in the direction that we're going in. So we decided that we would, from time to time, we would take some passages from these books, these impactful passages that we like, and then give them on the events and explain why they were so impactful to us. So that's a couple of things. Obviously, Julie does her immersive meditation relating to the topic that she's talking about. That day, we both pick a topic. And then I'll do the energy healing based on my topic. So we've got quite a lot of topics to talk about. So we're finding that we're getting through quite a lot every time, but we've still got a ton more to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also have, just if we're thinking about the new moon and the full moon. So the new moon is all about planting seeds, right? What do you want to create in the next couple of weeks or next couple of months or whatever? And then, so of course we're talking about, the theme that's always kind of the underlying theme for the new moon. And as far as the full moon, it's about a little bit more about letting go, right? And, creating space for those seeds to grow. So it's kind of got like a flow to it that way as well. And I love that we have it set up too that people can go back as often as they want and
Yeah.
listen to maybe an episode or an event that was very powerful for them, and go back and listen over and over and over. I know repetition is the mother of change for me.
Yeah.
So
True.
and it's nice that it's set up that way. I mean, we do have sites on creating some quarterly live events so that we can have a feeling of community, bringing the group of people that have decided to be a part of this tsunami of change to come together so that they could kind of meet each other. So that's on the horizon too. But yeah, we just have so many wonderful ideas up our sleeve, even singers playing
Yes.
songs and a lot of
Yeah.
really interesting things. And we're going to mix it up because I know for me, I want to make it interesting for me. If it's interesting for me, then I think it's going to be interesting for someone else. And Dawn, I know, feels the same way. And she's super open to trying a lot of different things. And of course, we're looking for feedback from our audience to let us know what they love, what they want more of, and maybe what a topic that they'd like us to cover. So we're going to be very open to, responding to what our audience is asking us for.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I was going to say, so have you thought about doing retreats at all? Where you can actually like meet in person and live.
It's always a possibility.
I live in Palm Springs, so I live in a place where people want to come on vacation. So,
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just one of those ideas because a lot of us we've been feeling more and more connected online, but then there's still some of those that we just love to just be able to actually meet the people. Because I know you can feed off the energy from people online, but
sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you feel that energy even more when you're in person and in the same place?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's something so powerful about getting out of your current environment. That's why retreats can be so powerful because you're not looking at all the things that you identify with your current self with. I mean,
Right.
I've heard of stories over, the years through, of course, some of the books that we've read. Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of the books, several of his books we both read. But just the idea of taking a group of people out of where they currently live, away from their calendar of doctor's appointments and their pill boxes on the counter. I mean, all these things, to take you to a different place, and you all of a sudden become someone different, when you're out of your typical place that you are normally. So yeah, I think retreats are definitely something that we'd want to do down the road once we get our footing.
It gives you some time to be away from your normal life and, quite possibly just be yourself, do what you want to do and just allow it to happen when you're not surrounded with your usual things. Then you've not got that same mental chaos around, I believe. So yeah, retreats are.
Yeah, I always told people my fiance is a totally different person when we are gone on vacation. And it's like, that just tells me I need to be on vacation 24/7. So,
Oh, yeah.
Who's that hurting? Who's that hurting? Come on.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't, but you're absolutely right. Because when we're at home, we have things going through our heads like, oh, I didn't get this done or that done. And you're seeing this, I should do this. And it's like, you're not focused. Like when you're away, it's like, you're not really attached. It's unless you're one of those people that planned out everything when you're gone, you can just enjoy a new environment and the new people.
Just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe. I used to have that up on here too. Just breathe. So we forget to do that in the crazy world that we have.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely do. So what do you hope to achieve with these events?
Julie?
We were talking about
how about each of you? One of you go first. It could be the same. It could be different.
Well,
go ahead.
We're hoping for to create a community of like-minded people that want to, delve within and make the changes to themselves, and at the same time help to heal the unified consciousness of everyone on this planet. That's really what we're aiming for. We want to achieve create this big community of people that can come together and talk about, the ways that they have managed to, create forgiveness and lots of love in their life. And if you get anything else to add to that, Julie?
Yeah, I do. I'm just thinking about because I know I've talked to a few people about this whole concept that we have with quantum awakening. They're like, wow, that's a big goal. Change the consciousness of the 800 billion people or whatever, 80 billion people, however many. And I'm like, but the thing is, and this is part of what I want to educate through what we're doing. It's like, it all starts and ends with you. With just one person. And our energy goes out from our body. It's proven through quantum physics that they can see how our aura or our energy extends beyond our body. And when a person comes in and they have a negative attitude, or if they have a positive attitude, or if they're like sexy, I mean, you can feel it, right? When they walk into a room. And it's like, I really want to inspire people to become that person that inspires other people to want to be the best that they can be, to be the kind, giving, loving, caring, without being a doormat, person be the kindest, most loving and accepting and caring and compassionate person in your circle of friends. Because what's going to happen is your friends are going to be like, what's going on with Laura? I want what she's got. She just is a light. She glows from the inside out. She's healthier. She's happier. She tells me she sleeps like a baby. It's like so many things shift and change when you get into this kind of energy work, into this kind of work where you're going within and tapping into, universal mind. I mean, we are so powerful and we just don't realize it. And we're actually, I think, afraid of how powerful we really are. We're so eager to argue for our limitations. It's like, but we are creators. I mean, we literally create with our thoughts and our feelings and, our belief goggles that I'm always talking about. It's like, this is what you're seeing the world through. It's what you believe is possible. It's like, I believe a lot more is possible now than 20 years ago, for sure. And I'm happier and healthier now at 58 than I was in my 30s. So it's like, this works. I mean, and I am like living, breathing proof that shifting what you focus on and what you think about and what you talk about changes everything in your life, from your relationships to your income to the people you're surrounded by. It's just, it's all good. There's nothing bad that can come from this. And I just want to educate people that it takes just one person to affect another person. And then they tell two friends, and then they tell two friends, right? And it's just, that's how it starts. It becomes a wave like that. So, and it's really giving people hope more than anything else.
It's about helping to shift perceptions, isn't it? Moving your awareness, because one of the things that I want to do is to help people understand that they can take back their own power. Because I was a person that they just gave my power out to anyone. I gave everybody control of me without even realizing that's what I was doing. And I see that a lot in people.
Same.
So people don't understand that they actually have the ability to take back control of their life, get themselves back in the driving seat of whatever it is that they want to do, whoever it is that they want to be. And I think Julie and I, with our very similar experiences, life experiences, I think we are in a really good place to help as many people as we possibly can.
We're poised and ready.
We are ready to go.
Well, so that reminds me of a couple of things. For one, I don't know if you've ever seen the TED Talk where about a movement, starting a movement.
No.
It shows you that all these people on a hillside sitting there, and one guy just starts dancing around and just being weird, and everybody starts looking at him, and it doesn't take long. And then all of a sudden a second person joins them. And then a third. Next thing you know, everybody on that hill is no longer sitting on their rear end. They are up there just,
I love it.
Living is crazy. You should look it up sometime.
I will.
It's extremely funny. But you're right. It takes a person. It takes not being afraid of what other people think or being judged. It's doing what you feel you need to do, and guess what? You will have people join you.
Well, and also too, as we set ourselves free, right? We give other people permission to do the same thing. It's like that person that's dancing over there, like nobody's watching. You're like, wow, she's weird. But then you're like, it's the only reason why she triggers you is because you want to be able to dance like nobody's watching too, right?
That's me.
And then after you get more people, it's like, well, now I'm just missing out. Now you got the fear of missing out. So now you got to go.
Exactly. And when you said that, starting a movement, TED Talk, it reminded me, I saw a video and I can't remember where it was, but I think you can Google it and put it on YouTube, but it's trains in England. And everyone on the train is just like, sitting there looking at their phone or, just sitting there like, oh, I'm going to work, or sleeping or whatever, people on a train. We've all seen it, right?
Yeah.
And there's a guy that comes and sits on the train and he sits down and he goes, and he just starts laughing. And everybody around him first looks at him like, and then he keeps laughing, and then they start smiling, and then they start laughing. And then before you know it, everyone on the train is laughing, and he gets off the train, he goes around, and he gets on the other train and starts laughing on another train. I was like, oh my God, I love that.
I had a previous guest. We were talking about that because it's contagious, just like yawning. You may not even know what you're laughing about, and your body does not know the difference between a fake or a real one. It just
so true.
it just strikes different cortisols.
Yeah.
Ladies, I know we have a lot more to discuss, but we do need to take a quick break from a word from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Hey, we got soul. Oh yeah, we got soul.
So, Julie, you mentioned it a little bit before about the new moon and the full moon. Mm-hmm. For those that are not that familiar with why, can you go in a little more detail as to why you picked the full moon and the new moon as the dates for the events and what effect that has?
Well, I think it was really, Dawn, I know it was her decision to come to the new moon and the full moon. Do you want to answer that, Dawn?
No, carry on.
Oh,
carry on.
Okay. Well, as I said earlier, if we are affected by the moon, the moon controls the tides of the ocean. So the moon does affect us. And if we can connect with that power, it will allow us to create more change in our lives effortlessly by, syncing up with the energy of the moon. So, if you're looking to create something new in your life, make a change in your life, then obviously it's time, or even decide I talk with a lot of people who are my age who want to maybe decide a new path in life, they've retired or whatever. So the new moon is just an excellent time to really begin contemplating what is next and what feels right for you. What is your soul calling for? What is your life's passion or purpose? And it doesn't necessarily have to be your next job. It can be just a project on the side that lights you up and makes you feel excited about being alive. And we all need those times where our heart's pounding and we feel alive because we're doing something that we love. So the new moon is a wonderful time to start thinking about what those things are, or if you've identified what it is, taking the steps in the direction of creating that for yourself, whether it's building a business or starting a new workout program or whatever that is. And likewise with the full moon, once you are in that process of creating this change for yourself, growing those seeds, we don't want to keep digging them up and look for them. We want to let them grow, right? And the full moon is about letting go of the resistance maybe that you have to allowing yourself to have the things that you desire in your life. It's about letting go of old stories about the past experiences that you've had where it never worked out. So it's never going to work out. You have to let go of that. Maybe giving forgiveness that you've been withholding. And it's not even, forgiveness is not about even talking to that other person. It's about setting yourself free from it. Forgiving yourself for not doing the things you've wanted to do for years or months or whatever it is. But again, syncing up with the power of the moon, it just makes sense to do that, to have a little extra oomph behind you for this intention that you have set for yourself. So, Dawn,
the two most powerful times of the month, exactly. And that was why it came to me. It's when there's so much energy available to make those changes, and the full moon is great for surrendering and just sitting with things instead of trying to analyze and overthink things, just sitting with it and just letting it be. Because the more you overthink and the more you overanalyze, that's resistance. That's stopping things from leaving you. And we've talked a whole load about, emotions and sitting with the energy and actually recognizing it, accepting it, and then just letting it flow through you, because we tend to just feel something and go, oh, we tense up. I don't like that feeling at all. And then what we're doing is we're keeping it blocked inside us. And that creates a block. And then we're not very happy about it. So we just need to learn at that time just to, accept everything and just let it go, surrender to it instead of resisting it.
Yep. And surrender isn't weakness, just FYI.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Okay. I used to think that.
So did I. Yeah, it's the way we perceive it, right? Yeah.
I'm not giving up. It's like, it's
I
not
know.
giving up. It's giving in.
Yeah, it's not about pushing. It's not about
Giving it
pushing
away.
forward. It's just, taking it easy and taking a step back and just allowing things to flow, because we tend to really push. That's what we're conditioned to do from school. You've got to work so hard for it. You've got to do this. You've got to work 24 hours a day. No, that's just exhausting you. Sit with everything that's coming to you and just allow it to be. Because we're supposed to allow it to be. When we're thinking, we're feeling beings, we're emotional beings. Then why do we not accept those emotions? We should just let them be.
Yeah, I think the overall theme too around that is like, let it be easy.
Yeah.
Right? We have to make everything so hard. It's like, if it isn't hard, it's not worth it. It's like, is that true? I mean, does it have to be that way? It's like, it's like we have so many old, and I know I'm all about shining a light on beliefs that we may not even have decided for ourselves. It may be a cultural belief or a belief we picked up from our parents or some other adult in our life when we were kids. It's like, just becoming aware. It's like, why do I think that? Why do I believe that? Just getting people to be curious about, especially if you're not feeling good around something, it's like, that's probably attached to some belief that you have that doesn't jive with your soul that your inner self knows is just not true, but you're holding on to it. So there's a lot of awakening that I think this is going to facilitate for a lot of people.
Yeah. And you're right, because there's a lot of things we pick up, like you said, from our culture, our upbringing, things maybe we heard in school. Doesn't make it true, but most of the times we don't take that time to really think about things. We just like accept it as, oh, this is what it is. And, or repeat something and maybe not know truly what we're repeating either.
Yeah. I love the story about, I don't know if you've heard this one, but this young girl is making the turkey dinner for Thanksgiving, right? And she's, the instructions her mother gave her is to cut a chunk off the front of the breast, to cut that off and just throw that away. And she's like, why do we do that? And so she asks her mother, and her mother's like, oh, that's just what my mother always did. So we call grandma up, right? Grandma, why did she's like, well, my mother always did that too. That's just what we do with the turkey, right? And so the great grandma was still alive, although in her mid 90s. They call her up and they're like, why do you cut the chicken? She goes, oh, I never had a pan big enough. It just fit her pan. It's like, but I'm just saying, it's like there are so many beliefs. I mean, I know that's a joke, but it's like that, why do I think that? Why do I believe that? Why is that so? And it's okay to question. And I'm a fan of question everything.
Oh, yes.
You have to question it, because otherwise you're just a sheep. You're just doing what you're told. It's like, and if you really want to take your power back in your life, you have to be curious about why you do what you do. And get off of autopilot.
And like you said, it's perception. We get things ingrained in us. It doesn't mean there's not more than one way to do something. If you're open to it, you can open up a whole new world and say, oh, maybe that's not so bad. You can learn something new.
I read that there was a study done, and there's 240 ways to do the dishes based on where you live or what products you use, or, I mean, it's like, I know it's, again, little things like that. They just make you go, wow, there's got to be so many ways to do the same thing, So.
Yeah,
things that
absolutely.
Make you go,
things make you go,
Yeah, well, I mean, since from birth, right, we're trained and we're taught by people that have been taught by someone else. So our parents, our caregivers, their ancestors, all our ancestors, all the way down the ancestral line, And we don't question it. It just goes straight into our subconscious, doesn't it? Because 0 to 7, we talk about this a lot, Julie. When you're from birth up to the age 7, that's when your subconscious mind is wide open, and it will absorb everything like a sponge, everything it sees, everything it hears, everything it feels. And that becomes the vibration of that child. And that is the vibration that child will emanate 24 hours, 24/7. And if that's the way that child is brought up, it's easy enough changed. It takes a little bit of getting your head down, but once you understand that your life is a reflection of your inner self, and here's how you can change it, people are like, oh, we can change it, because they don't think they have that control. But it's now becoming a lot more apparent and a lot more mainstream there that you do have the power to change yourself, and you can change yourself to be anything that you want to be. You just need to desire to do it and understand how it works. So that's partly the education that we do in the Quantum Awakening as well, is to help people understand how life truly works, and so that you don't feel like life is happening to you. You'll understand that life is actually happening because of you.
And for you.
And for you.
And I think that an overarching theme that I would like to communicate through this is that this universe is a loving universe. It is not it's not a place where, it's just out to get you. I mean, it's, and if you really start paying attention again to what you do want and what you do want to have come into your life, you'll see it's all around you. I mean, I just use this example all the time. I worked with a woman who, she was like, there's no good men. There are no good men.
Oh, well, that's
right?
sad.
It is. It is sad, right? I mean, we've all been there at one point, I think.
Yes.
Right. But it's funny because, just through working on herself and starting to getting curious about what she's thinking all the time and what she's focusing on, turns out her next door neighbor, who was like right here, she's been dating now for 1.5 years. It's like, no good men, huh? She couldn't see them. She couldn't see him because that's what she believes. Right.
Yep.
So, it's like, we do have the power to change anything in our lives. And it starts with what we believe, and it's really simple, but at the same time, if you haven't really ever looked at it before, it seems like this massive thing. But that's why I like to start out with little things, just start changing little things and start looking for little things that you want to create in your life and believe that it's possible. I think that's another key point. They have to believe that something different is possible for them.
Yep.
Versus what has already been possible for them, And so I think Dawn and I are just on a mission to educate people from every angle, just to set them free in their lives so that we can set everybody free in this world.
And I would say we are all living proof, because if I'm not mistaken, we are all Gen Xers, and we all came up in that time frame of you go to school, go get a degree, go to work, retire at this age. I'm like,
what you should do.
Other people's rules and opinions.
No, I'm 56. I had that conversation recently with someone, and I'm like, I'm just getting started. It's only a number. They're like,
same.
Really? I'm
It's only a number.
I know I'm 56. It's only a number. I am just getting started. So yeah,
I'm thinking if I live to be over 100, I'm still easily middle-aged.
There you go.
It's all what you believe.
It's what you believe and what you set your mind on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So why did both of you feel it was necessary to create Quantum Awakening? I think we've touched on it a little bit, but
the state of the world. The state of the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we said, just look what's going on here. This is just awful. And we were kind of talking about, we really would love to see a change in the world, because there's so much, like I said earlier, everything's divisive and there's so much hatred. That's all you see, like Julie had touched on earlier. That is all you see in the news. I don't watch the news now. Occasionally when my husband comes in and he'll say, can I put the news on for 5 minutes? I'm like, oh, got to put my blinders on, don't want to hear this. Because they only focus on negativity. And no wonder there's so much negativity in the world, because that's all we receive, it's all we see, it's all we hear. And we just wanted to start creating a better place for people that are so fed up with that type of negativity. And
Mhm.
I think we're doing a good job, Julie. I really
Yeah.
do.
And I
Yeah.
think too, I mean, and I know I talk about this a lot too. It's like just how technology, even though it's wonderful sometimes,
But it
um,
works.
Mhm.
right. We won't talk about that. But I mean, there's just so many things happening. There's so much noise
Mhm.
out there. There's so many things pulling at us from every direction that, people are just, they're in this low level state of anxiety most of the
Yep.
time. Right. And so they're not able to think creatively or clearly about what they want to create in their lives because of all this fear that's being fed to us 24/7 through. And I mean, not to mention just the distractions in general, the text messages, emails, buzzes, bings, bips, bops, whatever. I mean, just applications have notifications, and it's like people are just constantly reacting, right? And
Mhm.
so they never take the time to really go in, contemplate what they think, you know,
Right.
get kind of an understanding of how they truly feel without someone else's opinion about it, right?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
know, Dawn works with people around, healing physical body things as well. I mean, that is, you look at how many people have inflammation.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it's directly related to stress. And if you live in a low level anxiety for decades, it affects your body. I mean,
Yeah.
it just does. I mean, they've already proven that stress creates illness. Even low level states of anxiety for months, years, decades. I mean, it has got to create a lot of problems. And so, from that standpoint, too, I lost my train of thought. It happens. No,
Yep.
I know what it was. It was just technology. It's like we just have too much coming at us all at once, and people just don't ever really unplug or shut down
Yeah,
and
we
just be
don't.
quiet, right? And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that's really, because if you think about how life used to be 100 years ago, I mean,
There was none of this.
there
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
none of this, right? And
None of
people
it.
were still, you know what I
I
mean?
remember when
So
there wasn't cell phones.
me too, right? And I had a pager.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what are those ever anymore, But I mean, it's just helping people understand that, everything in moderation. They've got to connect with themselves so that they can see that they're connected to others
Mhm.
as well. And so it's really about just bringing them back to themselves so that they can see that they're a part of a bigger whole that's not just technology, right?
Mhm.
It's just bringing people home, to
Mhm.
themselves is really an important part of what we're doing here, I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah.
looking inside and not looking at everything that's outside. Yeah, because
Yes.
everything is so. I mean, people nowadays are really materialistic.
Mhm.
That's nothing compared to what's in here and
No.
how who you are and how you are. Yeah, materialistic people. I mean, I was very materialistic for quite some time until I realised that. Well, what is it? It's nothing. I mean, you've got to go with how you feel, instead of looking for temporary fixes to whatever
Yeah.
it is that's upsetting you with physical items, because that's really all it is. It's just a temporary fix.
Yeah, and I also think too, it's like people are always getting their information out here. It's like, how am I doing? What do they think of me? All of this out here, always
How do you
reacting
feel?
to other people, right? Reacting and
Yeah.
worrying, and we're always comparing ourselves to other people, right? And I always encourage people to say, go to the place where you've never looked for information before and get some new information. Something you'll never get out here, go in here. And
Mhm.
it's gonna create this connection that, I mean, for me, it's the foundation of my life now. It's like just the knowing that I am always connected to source. I'm unconditionally loved. I can't screw that up. I mean, I mean, there's so many things that it's changed for me. It's changed my health, it's changed my sleep, it's changed my relationships, it's changed everything. And we really are just trying to get people to look not out here, but look in here, because that's where the gold is. That's where the kingdom is,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's a
To un-
complete, really everything that Dawn and I teach is like a complete opposite of everything that we were ever taught,
yeah,
Yeah.
to actually become aware of what you're thinking, to become
yeah,
aware of how your thinking affects your life and how long you're thinking about something. Because I mean, you think about it, people have about the same 25 or 30,000 thoughts every day. So it's just like, I'm behind. I'm too old. I can't start over. La 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 la. It's just like, stop.
It's a broken record.
It is. It's like go in. It's like I can do anything. Oh my god. It's like I
Yeah.
just have to decide. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And
And let them know that they're significant, and they
yes,
are
important.
worthy. They are enough, and they're very important, and they're
Yes.
not just casting themselves aside that they think they need to be cast aside for. They are very, very important. And doing
Yes.
things for yourself is not a selfish thing, as Laura rightly knows. It is essential for your own
So true.
health,
Mhm.
for your
Mhm.
own well-being, your own mental and emotional health as well. So we're encouraging the people, to go within and find their true self, and actually, find for themselves that they are connected to absolutely everything, and there's nothing out there that can harm them.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
nothing to fear.
No fear.
A wise man once told me, if you can change it, then do something about it and change it. If you can't, you let it go, because
Yeah.
it's just a lot of
Exactly.
unnecessary stress you don't need.
Well, we all
Very
try and
true.
control things that are outside of our abilities. I mean, we want to control things that are outside of us. And
Yeah.
if we want to do that, the only way of doing that is to go within ourselves and change
Yep.
it that way. We cannot change what somebody else is doing. We have to understand that. We can only change us.
Yeah.
We can't
Yeah.
change what, Aunt Bessie's doing up the road with her dog. We can't change that. We just
No.
have to disconnect ourselves from it, because really, A, it's none of our business, and B, it's nothing, there's nothing we can do about it. So why
Right.
are we fretting, Julie? Why are we stressing, right?
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot too. Mhm.
Well, one of the things I just said today to a friend of mine, because I'm the youngest of 4 girls, and my oldest sister is 10 years older than me, and my relationship with her, although I love her and we get along pretty good, it's like there's always been this role that I play, this role that she plays, that I don't know anything and she knows everything, right? And so when I get together with her, I come at her and I'm ready to be attacked, or I'm ready to defend myself to prove to her that I'm really smart, and all these things. And then I realized through my own work and my own self-discovery that I create that. I come to her with that energy of I'm not smart enough, or or I don't respect myself, or whatever that is. And so I've changed now. And so I've gotten way better at catching myself. Let's just be honest. Okay.
Yes.
We
So
all
what I
slip a
do,
little every now and then.
Oh,
so what I
yes.
do is when she calls me, I don't always pick up, because I want to be the one making the call so that I can be ready, because she has no idea that I'm doing any of this. Right. So I call her now after I've rooted into who I know I am, that I'm powerful, that I'm smart, that I'm capable, la, 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 all the things that remind me of who I really am. And then when I go to talk to her, what's really cool is that she changes, because I've changed. It's
Changed.
like, it's so amazing. It's like if I come to her, instead of having my tail between my legs, I come to her with my tail up, and I'm like, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. I'm an inspiration to other people. I'm running a business. All these things that I know are true. She's just, all of a sudden, she is so respectful and interested and curious about what I'm doing, asking me questions and telling me what a great job I'm doing. I'm like, oh my God, it was me.
Yeah.
It
You
was
put off
me.
a totally different vibration and
Yep.
energy,
Oh my
obviously.
It's all about resonance.
wow, it's so weird, but it's so cool. I mean,
It is.
it's the best news,
Yeah,
really. So
Yes.
I could talk
that
about
is
this
awesome.
forever.
Yes.
I know we could. We have a few minutes left, but so where do you see the events going in a year's time?
Oh, we want something big, don't we? Something big.
Yeah.
We would love to see the 9,000 members. We
Oh,
would
yeah. Even more.
absolutely
I
love. Oh
mean, I
yeah.
don't
I
want to
mean, that's
cap that.
minimum. That's minimum.
Yeah, for sure. And
9,000.
honestly, we haven't talked about the price of it, but I think it's important to do that
Oh yeah.
because
Oh yeah, no, I was going to
we
have you mention that for sure.
okay, cool. So I just think, we both came together. This is not about the money. It's about
Mm-mm.
touching as many lives of people as I possibly can. I mean, there are a lot of people who want to work with me but can't pay my fees, and I get that. But I have to respect myself enough to not give things away. So this is my way of being able to share all that I know and all that I've learned, and my deep desire to want to change the world with as many people as possible. And I always say, for the cost of 2 fancy cups of Starbucks coffee a month,
Oh, one
you can be
nowadays.
or right, or if it's a
It's
venti,
one.
right, if it,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
you can be a part of making a change in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, for $10 a month,
Mhm.
I mean, what can you even buy with $10 anymore? I mean,
Yeah.
this is so valuable. And between, Dawn's time and my time, it's over a $500 value
Mm.
for $10 a month.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm really comfortable with that. I feel really good about that. And I just think there's just so much possibility for where this could go and how many people we could attract to it. And we've even, and Dawn, invited Greg Braden to come and join us for our maiden event. He was busy, unfortunately, but he was
Sure.
not opposed to it. So I see
Right.
us bringing in, people who have a larger audience of their own
Yeah,
to
that'd be
grow
great.
this and, just get the word out. Cause all it is just letting people know what it is and that it's available to them. And I see it getting massive. I really
Yeah.
do.
So yeah, we talk on our events as well, and we do some lives, and we're trying to get on some more podcasts and more shows and spread the word about this. But we're asking people to help us to share
Yeah.
this information about these events, because we know that we are providing incredible value for just the $10 a month, really. And yeah, we're just asking for people to spread the word and help us gain to help us get to our goal of 9,000 attendees minimum.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am not a coffee drinker, but I know when we used to call it $4, and my best friend loves her frou-frou coffees, and she gets the largest size, Venti,
Ugh.
Trente, whatever. It's $9
Trente.
and change now, and I'm like, I don't know.
Trente.
They got Venti, Trente, whatever, Grande. They have so many different. I'm just like, just give me your biggest one if I get green tea. But I was like,
Give me the trash can.
her frou-frou coffee is like over $9, and I was like, holy cow.
I know. I can't do that anymore. It just does not appeal. I mean, that's not a coffee. Honestly, that's dessert. A very high calorie dessert.
Yeah, I can't drink coffee anymore.
It is. It's
Yeah, I
insane.
can't have that without a spoon, please. Thanks very much.
Exactly.
Well, ladies, we have a couple of minutes left. What would you like to share with everybody, or how do you think that people can change the world by attending these events?
I don't know. I mean, I think just by showing up, being present for yourself, taking in the information, getting curious about what you can change in yourself so that you can become the best version of yourself that you can be. I mean, that's really it. I mean, there's nothing more than, like Dawn said, being a new version of you. That's it. Just believing it's possible, being.
Yeah. And 2 hours a month. It's not and that's 2 hours that you can do whenever you can. There's no fixed time at the moment for these events. They are uploaded to a membership area, and once you subscribe, you've got access to all of them. So like Julie was talking about earlier on, you could do one every week, or 2 every week, whatever it is that you wanted to do, just to catch up and catch the education, catch the meditation, and also get the benefits of the healing as well. So there's nothing negative about it, is there, Julie? It's all just, and we're there, and we tell everybody every week, this is just with so much love.
Yes.
Because we just so enjoy what we're doing. We so enjoy, serving.
Yes, absolutely.
For those that are looking to go within and to heal certain aspects of themselves and heal the world at the same time. I mean, it's a double whammy, isn't it? There's
no loss
nothing
on
negative.
this, really.
No.
There just isn't. Yeah. So I'm really happy that we came together to do it. I feel really good
Yes.
about it. And
Me too.
and Dawn is a wonderful partner. I mean, we complement each other, I think, really well.
Yeah.
And plus we're fun. I mean, who doesn't want to come and spend time with us?
I know.
Absolutely.
And I say this all the time, and Dawn's always like, oh, but her accent, I mean, come on. Every American is like, just talk to me. Please talk to me.
I get that a lot. But I must admit, I mean, from where I'm sitting, I'm not the one with the accent. You two have got the accent.
I've always been told I have an accent. They're like, where are you from? Originally, I'm Missouri now, but I used to tell them Colorado. I don't have an accent, but I pick up accents of people that I'm around. So.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you, ladies, for taking the time to share with us today about quantum awakening, and for taking the time to create that, because I do truly believe you can heal yourself and heal the world through your program. And not only that, like you said, you've made it extremely affordable. It is $10 a month, and you can do it at your own time. So, yeah, absolutely. And I bet you'll hit that 9,000 way before your year mark.
Yay!
I hope so.
I'd be willing
Let's
to
make
bet.
it so.
Yeah. And so it is.
Yeah, and so it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time on Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross.